Why are we still here? Just to suffer? Every night, I can feel my leg, and my arm, even my fingers. The body I've lost. The comrades I've lost.
Today's video is going to be a little bit different from normal, as I'm not really going to be showcasing a deck list and going through it, since, well, Cyber Angels hasn't really changed all that much. All that's happened since my last Cyber Angel video is 2 more Idaten can be stuffed into the deck list. Unless of course you're one of those big brain advanced ritual art players who decided that their decks weren't bricky enough and decided to stuff a couple of generic monsters in there to make maximum bricking potential. So basically this video is just going to be as the title says. Me ranting about how good 3 times Idaten actually is, and the current state of CA, whilst talking over some gameplay I grabbed from a stream I did the other day. As per normal, I'll still show off the deck list and leave a link to the list in the description of the video for those of you that feel like torturing yourselves with that. So how good is 3 times Idaten? Well honestly, it really didn't do jack shit for the deck. Multiple copies may have boosted the consistency of the deck slightly, as well as given us an option to buff our Dakinis and Izanas to some pretty ridiculous attack stats. But did it help solve any problems that CA actually faces right now? Not at all. There's the obvious pro to having 3 times Idaten, which is obviously more access to the Idaten Benten combo to basically get a free ritual summon that recycles itself, which with 3 times Senju is a combo that you would be pretty unlucky not to have in your opener. But having this combo doesn't solve the underlying problem with the deck, which is we do not have a bridge. No, I'm not trying to tell all you salty CA players that CA is bad and you should all just build a bridge and get over it. I'm talking about a bridge between the level gap in each of the cards. See, when you use the Idaten Benten combo, the result of the combo is generally the same. You'll either search for a Senju if you haven't already used one, a Dakini or an Izana, depending on the situation. And of course, you'll search for the only card that you have that allows you to bridge the gap in levels, Machine, Angel, Ritual. And this generally leads you to ritual summoning your boss monster by using the Senju and the Idaten, and from that point on, you have to play the game as if you do not have a Machine, Angel, Ritual, as if you ever take it out of the grave, you'll lose all protection for your boss monster, not to mention you don't even have that option to take it out of the grave unless you summon Dakini. So from this point on, summoning another boss monster just became a hell of a lot harder, as the remaining ritual spells we have to choose from all contain the card text, whose total levels exactly equal the level of the ritual monster. And our deck is filled with a bunch of level 6 monsters, which I'm sure most of you people who have already completed preschool are well aware 6 does not equal 8. Nor do we have the cards in the deck to make that 6 end up reaching the goal of 8. For example, let's say we get another copy of Izana in hand, after already summoning the first with Machine Angel Ritual. What options do we have to summon the second? We have to use shitty ritual spells, which leaves us with either getting a hold of another level 8 or 2 copies of the level 4 Senju to meet the level requirements. Or you wait for your first boss monster to die and use Absolute. So now, unlike on turn 1, you're going to be trying to do a ritual summon that doesn't utilise Benten or Idaten's effects. You're going to be ritual summoning using monsters that don't come with little bonuses if they are used as tribute, you're not going to get a free search, and you're not going to get a free attack boost. Which may not seem big, but honestly, this is pretty huge, because I don't know if you've noticed, but 2700 attack in current meta really isn't all that much. Now obviously, there are little things we can do to try and get around this issue. We can use Merciful on Idaten after we have already summoned our boss to still give it its little attack boost. We can desperately draw for another Idaten Benten combo to try and fetch back Machine Angel Ritual from the grave if it's still in there and hasn't already been used to protect your monsters. Which, by the way, even if you are able to add it back to your hand, will leave you pretty open to cards like Treacherous whilst you're adding it to your hand. So basically, after turn 1, your hand becomes brick central, as any level 6 you draw from now on has no real relevance outside of being fodder for Merciful, since games don't really go for long enough for you to realistically draw into another Idaten Benten combo all that often. And any ritual spell you draw has pretty hard requirements to fulfill, even with access to the graveyard. Now I know I'm exaggerating a little here, but I hope you kinda see what I mean. Generally, you're not going to be able to do another ritual summon for at least another 2 turns after summoning your first, and that is a best case scenario. Now there is one pretty easy way to solve this problem. Cyber Petit Angel. Most people forget that this card was not only a free manju for Cyber Angels that helped boost the consistency a shit ton, but it was also our level 2 searchable bridge. This card is the card we needed to be able to bridge the gap between our level 6s and our level 8s. It wasn't just a searcher, it was a core component of how the deck functioned. It could even bridge the gap between our manjus and our level 6s. The fact that Petit is searchable by Benten is honestly huge. It means that even at 1 copy, our turn 1 would generally involve using the Idaten Benten combo to search for Petit, which would give us access to the same ritual summon that we currently do with Senju, only this time it would leave us with a level 6 and a level 2 in the grave. So any draw of Absolute would mean instant access to another boss monster once we have it in hand. It would also mean that our chances of being able to summon both Dakini and Izana in the same turn would increase astronomically, and we'd actually be able to do this realistically on our first turn at a fairly consistent rate. Sadly, as I'm sure you're all aware, Petit, Machine Angel Ritual and Dakini are all placed onto the same limited list, which means that we can only play 2 out of the 3 cards in any deck list. So it becomes a choice between our best boss, our best ritual spell, and Petit. So sadly, there isn't really any competition here, and Petit is the one that always gets cut. Without Petit, in my opinion, Cyber Angels become a fairly straightforward deck that lose a lot of their unique identity. They go from being a powerful ritual deck that loves to recycle itself, to a brain dead all-in OTK deck that doesn't really have a follow-up play after its first turn, and just relies on one big monster. In summary, just free Petit already, Konami. 3 times Idaten really doesn't do a whole lot for the deck. If anything, it just reinforces our need for Petit, as having so many level 6s in the deck without any level 2 bridge just makes for a ridiculous amount of bricking. Like I said, even just 1 single copy of Petit, and this deck becomes astronomically better. I doubt the deck will ever be a strong tiered deck, as it honestly just seems like a discount vendor to me at this point, but it would be nice to at least give it a fighting chance. Alright guys, I think I'm basically done ranting now. Enjoy whatever remaining gameplay I have, as you know how it is, gotta get that video to 10 minutes for YouTube's algorithm. I would really appreciate feedback on this video if you have any, as I have no idea if this style of ranting video is something you guys enjoy, or if I'm basically just coming off as sounding like an old dude crying about his old Nokia phone that has gone out of service and he's forced to use a more recent upgraded model. If you like the video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new around here, comment if you have any questions or feedback, make sure to join my Discord, and if you happen to have $1 lying around and wish to support me, feel free to click that join button down below to support me directly, as well as gain access to a few little neat perks. Enjoy the gameplay!
Hey, big brother, can I watch SpongeBob?
Shut up, Mokuba. I'm busy flagging YouTube videos to compensate for the fact that I have an extremely small penis.
Oh,